Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Fellowship of the Geekdom. I am Ben the Gray. Join with me as always, Josh and Joel. How are you guys doing today?
I feel like I'm taking claim to Westeros. I'm feeling barbaric. I'm feeling Valerian steel. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling.
How you doing, Joel?
Oh, I'm fantastic. I am so excited to talk about this show. I was busting at the seams yesterday. I can't believe that they gave one of the biggest reveals of all time away, as far as book theory goes, in the first episode of a prequel series, which was huge.
That's what she said while jizzing at the seams.
And while having some wood in her hands. Sorry, I had to bring that over from last night.
It's not wood; it's Valerian steel.
The Valerian steel indeed. The only one that seemed to have sad wood was Damon Targaryen.
Ooh, Matt Smith walked in this episode, didn't he?
Oh yeah.
He had Dark Sister.
He owns that role, man. It's not the first episode. He owns it. That is Damon Targaryen for sure.
Pretty book accurate.
This could be his big breakout role. Yeah, he was on Doctor Who, and that was great for him. But this role could make him a superstar, right?
More than young Palpatine? Oh, that got cut. Sorry.
Was he ever in that?
I think it was supposed to be, and then it got cut.
I don't want to get on that because I could spend a half hour just talking about what's wrong with those damn movies. But we're not here to do that. We're here to talk a little bit about the House of Dragon.
There be dragons, boy.
Take a bath, you reek of dragon.
This was one epic pilot. Before we get deep dive into it.
Rhaenyra is a pretty good pilot, too.
What?
Rhaenyra is a pretty good pilot,
too.
Yeah.
Oh, she was great on that dragon. Okay, that.
I think I saw
it
once.
That's new.
Dragon.
How awesome, how incredible was that opening scene of a dragon flying over Westeros, seeing little places that we recognize, that are being built.
The dragons are markedly improved, I believe, since Game of Thrones, like the CGI and everything. It looks so crisp, so like when the dragon was moving and stuff, landing, you just saw it. It's so crisp, so clean. And I loved it in the original, but man.
Yeah, they I was talking to someone earlier, Noah, we've had on like months ago, right?
Yeah.
He was on the phone earlier and we were talking about Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon for a little bit. And he was saying he didn't know what the budget was. I don't know what the budget for the show is either, but for that CGI for those dragons to look that good, I'm sure HBO spent a pretty dollar. I really want to know how much it was. And if they didn't really spend a lot and they still had it look that good, I think there's some other studio companies that need to take some pages out of their book because that is fantastic. Like Joe said, the movement, I really was taken aback by the texture and the scales too. Like the eyes, like it's so piercing. They did a really great job with that.
200 million to make.
200 million. It's the same budget as another movie that shall not be named. But anyway.
No, we're not bringing that up. We're not talking about that. This is House of Dragon talk. We're not. No. But you can get back on your point. she felt like she was really on that dragon. It felt
yeah.
like she was really on it.
Whoa,
It
second.
really,
Whoa.
what?
No, when she landed, like
Oh,
it felt like they're like, whoa. Dragon's like, it's
Relax.
like a horse.
did you guys have a favorite character in this pilot episode?
You know, I really like Rhaenyra. I really like her. I think, well, I could be wrong. We have someone here who has read every single book, so I could be wrong. But I do think she'll be like a great. I think she'll be a great queen if it comes down to a point where the Viserys is killed at some point. I think she ruled fairly. Um, I just felt the way they had it going. It seemed like she was going to align with Damon at some point because of the visceral scene that we see towards the end with the childbirth and everything. And I thought some lived, but apparently it caught me off guard once you get to the next scene and you obviously see the mother, and then the camera kind of pans out and you see the baby. So it's like, oh, jeez.
If you notice in that scene when the maester is holding the baby and they're talking about it, and then all of a sudden he just kind of like looks down like that. The baby was like supposedly born deformed, if I remember correctly in the books. And then it died.
Damn.
Yeah.
That was dark, yeah.
There's a
Well,
lot of Targaryen creature births that look like they're part dragon.
So they're more they have deeper ties with the dragons than we actually think, which probably aligns to that line when they said that if we didn't have dragons, we'd just be normal men, as opposed to the gods that they kind of uphold us to in a way. I'm just paraphrasing that, but it's along the same lines. But that's a cool aspect if Targaryen blood has something to do with birth of dragons and everything.
I'm sure it's blood magic that allowed them to even hatch the dragons in the first place. But did you guys catch the thing that I was talking about that single-handedly rewrites, or actually kind of just changes the way that you see all of Aegon's conquests and everything?
I'm not sure. What are you
Was it in the
mentioning?
beginning?
No. Towards the very end.
Okay.
When Viserys is talking to Rhaenyra.
Yes.
And he tells her about how Aegon had a prophecy.
Yeah.
That's never been. That's like been a fan theory for forever since the show came out. 20 since the books came out, 20-something years. That he had a prophecy that's why he took over Westeros. Also, that the whole reason why Rhaegar married Lyanna Stark and all of that was to fulfill the prophecy. So it's all it's like a big lore thing that they just verified right off the bat. It's like a game-changing event that just took place in the first episode.
I wanted to ask you this, so that prophecy that we were talking about, we saw that happen in Game of Thrones, right? That's what we saw. Okay. And I'm sorry, it's going to take me a minute to learn all the characters' names. What's the king's name?
Viserys.
Viserys, yeah.
Just like her brother. Just like Dany's brother.
Okay. So
that's what he was named after.
Who was Sean named after?
Aegon?
Yeah, Aegon.
The Conqueror. The first Targaryen to take over Westeros.
Yeah, so he already passed. We're not going to see him, right?
No, that's before all this. Before Jaehaerys, before Maegor, before. Although they might at some point jump back there. I'd love to see them do Maegor the Cruel. He was a psychopath.
Okay. So you're the expert here. What were some of your favorite moments? What were some of your highlights?
The subtlety of the throne cutting Viserys as he made unwise or unworthy decisions and such. I think that was a really cool parallel to how the throne, the object of power, can also be the thing that casts you off of it. Compared to how Damon just so easily sat upon the throne without any injury or anything, which is weird because you would think, the less honorable one. Although he was always true to himself and who he was, he wouldn't have given a fuck if the people didn't want his daughter to be king. He would have made that bitch king. Damon Targaryen he's always been the fighter, whereas Viserys was more the diplomat.
The wavelength.
And there's a couple of references to what will be an upcoming battle. I hope they show it. But there's something called the Battle of the Stepstones, which is what Corlys Velaryon was talking about at the meeting, about how the pirates took over the Stepstones or whatever. And so in the books,
Crab eater.
crab feeder.
Crab feeder, yeah.
Yeah. So what they were talking about when they said his unique way of killing people, he just leaves them out on the shore, tied up, so the crabs come in and eat their flesh. But they call him crab feeder. Yeah.
Wow. You know what else? I thought it was interesting that you have 14 different people try to make claims and cases to the throne, but only 2 really mattered.
Yeah, that was the great court of I don't remember the year. What's up, Jedi Master Don?
Don, who is
that was the Great Council at Harrenhal.
Okay.
That was 60. So there was 60 years of peace. Before that is Jaehaerys. That is when the king Viserys gets put into power over Rhaenys, the queen that never was, who should have been the rightful heir, which is a good parallel towards the situation with Rhaenyra.
Yeah. No, you're right. Absolutely.
Also, a big fan of the way that Matt Smith just was like, "Yo, Syraxis, let's go." Took the biggest, baddest dragon and flew the fuck up out of there.
Oh, we're going to see more of him, right? Well, he's going to be a main character, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you have a sword named Dark Sister, we should see more of him.
You're also probably going to see a young Aemon Targaryen. Master Aemon.
Okay.
At some point in the series. Or if not Aemon, we should definitely see the future Three-Eye Raven. He was alive long before he's one of the bastards. So we'll see what ends up where. But the Civil War will come eventually. They made some major changes from the books, like Alyssa Hightower. It was not friends with Rhaenyra as kids. That's a show thing, which I think adds a nice element of a new dichotomy to their relationship that didn't exist before.
So what about the whole relationship?
Oh, hey, Brendan.
Rhaenyra and Corlys.
That is the thing. Corlys Velaryon, one of the few Westerosi people with Valyrian blood. Here's a trivia question for you. Kristen Cole unhorsed 3 people with Targaryen blood. Who were they?
Well, there were 2 that were Baratheons, and hold up,
The last one's pretty easy.
the other one's a Hightower.
No.
No. I'm sorry, I'm reading this wrong. Damon chose Gawain Hightower to fight.
It's Damon. Damon's the third.
Jeez, that's
Oh,
right.
wow.
And he made him yield.
Yeah.
That was a good fight. That was a good after Josh fight. Honestly,
He's going to be a major character too.
Cole.
Yeah, Kristen
I
Cole.
believe that. I mean, if you're able to do that, and he's Dornish, if you're able to do that to Damon, then yeah, you have to stick around for a while.
I wanted to ask both of you something. That wound that the king had, that they wanted to cauterize, was that the beginnings of grayscale disease? So,
No, I do not believe so.
okay.
At
You
least
know
that's not how it goes in the books.
Okay, do you know
It's not
what
the
it
sort of
is?
thing. I think it's just some type of necroitis. They can burn from fire, Don. Only Daenerys was sometimes immune to fire in the books. But that's more prominent in the show. But it's magic. It's blood magic. The sacrifice of the blood of the people that she loved, plus the dragon eggs. The blood from her loved ones is what created the magic needed to hatch the dragon eggs. But dragon fire can even kill dragons, so it's hotter than regular fire.
Sounds like the Soul Stone and Skyrim are very involved in this.
Are we going to see Dragonfire in this show?
We already did.
We did?
Dracarys.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There should be mid-air dragon battles by the end of this thing, so we should be seeing people jumping from Dragonback and like sword fighting on Dragonback and shit. Like this should be.
That's gonna be so cool. It's kinda
Yeah.
like
There's a reason I was so excited for this show, if just based on the source material.
Are we going to see everybody have their own dragon, you think?
Not everybody. So if you remember what they said in the beginning of the episode, they said the high point of Targaryen power, there were 10 full-grown dragons. There's a bunch of younger dragons. For most of them, there's a lot of wild dragons. There's one called Sheep Stealer, who's one of the older and bigger dragons, but nobody could ever tame it.
Was that the one that we see at the end with the giant skull?
No, the skull is Balerion the Black. He was Aegon the Conqueror's dragon.
Okay.
He was a big boy.
Yeah. Lord.
Yeah, he was much larger than even Drogon ever was. He was the big bad booty daddy over there. Dracarys.
Are we actually going to see Rain? I'm going to call her Rain for now. Take the throne as queen. Before
Rhaenyra? I will not answer that question because I know the answer and I don't want to spoil the.
That's a great answer, Joe.
Fair enough.
But I would like you two to speculate on it. I don't want to say anything that's going to actually spoil important aspects of the show.
Okay, Josh, what do you think? Do you think we'll see her?
I think so, because I don't think Viserys is going to have a long time on that throne. And after that last spat between him and Damon, that's not going to be the last of it. That's just the sparks of the fire starting. As soon, at some point, there'll be a great, smoldering, raging wildfire that will result in the death of Viserys. And I think Rhaenyra is going to have to, you know, utilize the kingdom or weaponize the kingdom to pretty much stop Damon from usurping power. Unless he drives her out of there or something, and then she has to come back. I don't know. But I just don't think Viserys is going to be... He's not going to be there much longer.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know this. If you don't say anything. Do you think Damon is going to kill his brother?
I do not think that will happen. Although, with the changes they're making from one to the other, who knows?
Interesting.
I will say, what is your opinion on Otto Hightower?
I did
The
not
Hand
realize
of the
that was
King.
Risa Pawns.
Yeah, I didn't know that was him. I like that character. I like that character quite a bit.
Yeah. He was definitely hurt. Damon mentioned the loss of his wife.
Oh, I fucking
And then I
hate
thought
him.
it was... Yeah. Then I thought it was crazy how at the end Viserys lost his wife and child, and you're pressing him about who the heir is going to be. Like, really?
You thought that was the weird part? Not when he was trying to get his daughter to wear his head wife's dress to go into the king's room and try to seduce him when she's like 14 years old.
He went pimping out his daughter. Are you kidding me?
I did
He went
not.
pimping out his daughter.
I didn't realize that was going on. Okay,
Yeah,
I have to watch that again.
That was the worst part to me. I was like, oh Jesus Christ.
That's not okay.
He's a second son who would inherit no lands, no titles. So his only station in life is to be hand of the king, and now he's trying to keep climbing. But most people back then, the thing that I love so much about this show, and the same thing with Game of Thrones, is because Game of Thrones is all written from the perspective of characters. Fire and Blood is it's an unreliable narrator. It's a third party account of what happened. So there's going to be things that is the common accepted truth that aren't really what happened. So this show theoretically should show you the unveiled actual truth that the stories were based on. Because no retelling of the story is ever the same as the actual story.
So was Game of Thrones all written in was that all first person as well?
Mm-hmm. Game of Thrones is all first person. Fire and Blood is third person, unreliable narrator.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like same thing with World of Ice and Fire. It's like the account of a maester and a drunk dwarf. Two separate tellings of the story. So a lot of the history of Westeros is more of a agreed upon what the maesters say, almost like a whitewashed version of history, completely scrubbed of things that make certain parties look negative, or it's told to be political and to give a narrative, just like you would expect from the maesters. Sneaky sons of bitches.
I got you.
Sneaky.
Very sneaky. What about the triarchy? What's up with that?
Oh, the Kings of the Stepstone. That's gonna be a fun thing that we should be able to explore soon. See, Corlys Velaryon, his oldest son, who should play a part in the upcoming episodes, but that's where Damon re-gets on the good side of the court to some extent.
Okay. All right.
There's going to be some fun stuff coming up. There's also going to be a severe divide. There's going to be two camps. It's going to be the Greens and the Blacks. I'm Team Black.
A very earthy tone. Okay, so is Damon? Is he just like? Are they playing it as if we think he's really the bad guy, but he's not? There's like really a looming overall bad guy that we just haven't gotten to yet. He just happens to be a rebel.
This is Westeros. In a throne room where everyone's trying to grab power for themselves. There are no good people or bad people. It's just a matter of which side happens to be right at the moment. They're both willing to do unspeakable things like pimping out their own daughters or burning villages,
Or
cutting
killing
off
your
people's
wife and son.
hands,
In
chopping off
Japanese.
people's, tying your wife down and having the baby cut out of her belly against her will.
I thought that I was so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that scene, guys. That scene is being talked about on Twitter. Do you think that was too much for the show?
No.
No, because I kind of expected with the show. It was just like, it was just shocking as I don't know what, and then the savagery of it. It's like, did you even love your wife, man? Was she just like a?
But that's how the first C-sections were.
Yeah, I never doubted that he loved her. I think he loved her quite a bit.
It's a hard decision you have to make.
Yeah.
But then it's like, I mean, you're right, but you still have. To me, it's like you still have your daughter, man. And I know in your mind you're not thinking it because he wasn't. That's not what he was thinking.
The way that they phrased it to him, was either we could try to save the baby or they're both definitely going to die. Those were the only two options that they gave.
I thought it was like you can either say one or the other.
No, you can either save one or watch them both die.
Yeah, okay.
So it wasn't like they gave him multiple options that were good. It wasn't like we could save either your wife or the baby. They were like, we could maybe save the baby or they're both just going to die. But we got to do this now. And fuck you gonna say? Like I couldn't imagine. Don't take the girl.
I probably, if I don't know, man. I was just in my mind. I'm like, just save Emma, just save her. Still have Rhaenyra. I just save her. That's all I was thinking. But in the character's perspective, I knew it's like, well, he obviously wanted a son, and he wasn't thinking at the time of pretty much rewriting the course of history until. It's crazy how it took that event for him to notice. His daughter again.
I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Oh, no,
everybody seems to be overlooking it, and I mentally made a note of it. Even the fifth try, you're getting a boy. She already had 2 miscarriages, and like 3. Well, what is it called? Where the baby comes out dead, basically.
Stillbirth.
Yeah, stillbirth. And then I think each time there was a stillbirth, I think they were all breaches.
Right.
Reverse the baby. Yeah.
So, thinking about all of that at this time, I'm going to go to try to save the baby. Yeah, of course. And I'm don't know if at that moment, did he already know it was a boy?
No.
No, he had been saying that he felt in his loins that it was a boy. But
I saw visions of him sitting with his crown on top of the throne. She said, "No wonder it hurts so much. Stupid crown." Not her exact words. But
yeah.
I'm paraphrasing.
But you're almost there. That's pretty much what you said.
To me, it's clear. Yeah, he could have said, one of them would have died, or he could have tried to save the baby. Of course he was going to try to save the baby.
Yeah.
He wanted a healthy baby for one.
And one other question about this. How did you guys feel about them overlaying the birth and death of the baby and everything
with the gladiator fight?
Yeah.
thought that was either way. It was like just showing that it's a savage kingdom, no matter what.
Also,
Whether it's like for political purposes or it's just straight up violence and brutality, like this is a blood-drenched world that we are in. And
see, to me, it was all foreshadowing the cracks starting to form in the Targaryen Empire.
To me, it felt like any regular Game of Thrones episode. I mean, they would do that in the original series, so I don't remember any specific time, but they've done that before, right? Cutting back and forth between one good thing and one bad thing. That's nothing new, right?
But to me, it wasn't even one good thing, one bad thing. They were
both
both
terrible
showing
things.
Targaryen loss.
Right,
I think it was very much so intentional to show things starting to slip away. Everybody's starting to lose their grasp.
The Targaryens are starting to come down the high mountain, so to speak, right?
Or high tower.
Or high tower.
From the old town.
Otto.
You know, I thought it was crazy for Damon to say an heir for a day. It's like, wow.
Yeah, that was a bit rough.
You stooped so low.
Did you say it? Brother, you will address me as your grace, or I will have my king's guard cut out your tongue. Did you say it? An heir for a day?
And he said it. He hit
we
so
all,
low,
we
man.
all grieve in our own ways, brother.
So you can, I'm sure you're going to agree with this. You and I know Matt Smith, when he is given the chance to give a speech, my God, Matt Smith can deliver a speech, right?
Yep.
You talking about with the City Watch? That was great.
I mean, talking that, but I didn't make some of his previous work, like from Doctor Who. He has one good speech giver.
I haven't watched Doctor Who. Gotta get around to it. So much content. Nah, man. Like I thought that purge on the city when he was just going after all the criminals.
Oh,
I was like, wow. I mean,
before I got here, you were just mangy. What did he say? Mangy hounds or something?
Like mangy. Nah, he called them. He said when they finally, after his time being there, they became a pack of hounds. But before they were weak, mangy. Oh, jeez. You know what? We'll just call them maggots. They were mere maggots in the beginning.
Yeah, then they became a pack of hounds out for the hunt.
Yeah,
that might be my favorite scene of the episode. There's no brutality on the visual.
Raper!
Oh.
Thief!
talk about a red scare.
Talk about taking a pound of flesh. Jesus Christ.
I didn't find it. My God, what are we getting into here?
I know, it's so good.
I think we all know where Carol Baskin got her tactics from.
Oh, God. Yeah. You had to I had to make that wind shot before.
I had to throw it in there for you, Ben.
Yeah. That's good, man.
No, it was a crazy scene though. I mean, it was just like you had the one guy pointing him out: thief, raper, murderer, liar. Like, jeez, all right, he's going after everybody.
And you didn't say bless you when I sneezed.
There goes your lips.
I didn't get a whoop out of you.
Nope, nothing. You didn't even give me a blessing.
You guys see Dogma? Have you ever seen Dogma?
No, I have my list. I have to see it.
I believe it's free on YouTube. There's a scene where Barnaby's like they're taking out all these like sinners, and then he goes, and you didn't say bless you when I sneezed. And then he's like, no, wait. Whoa.
I'll tell you. Look, would you guys have like a favorite dragon so far, or
We
one
only
that
really
you
saw
kind of
the
like you want to see
two.
more of, or anything?
We only seen one dragon so far, man.
Two.
No, we've seen
We
Get
Cyrax,
Syraxis.
Caraxes, and
Yeah.
Dracarys. I mean
Caraxes.
Dracarys. Yeah.
Well, Dracarys that was
Yeah.
that was Cyrax. Dracarys is just
Caraxes is Damon's, correct?
Yeah, well, he just took her. It was never his dragon.
Yeah.
That dragon, I believe, last belonged to Jaehaerys, maybe? It was somebody before
So
him.
Caraxes is Jaehaerys' dragon.
No, I don't remember who it was that it belonged to. He belonged to somebody that's not around anymore that died.
Okay.
And then Damon just took him then. It was never his dragon. He just went down there and claimed it. The dragon had been unclaimed.
I have
Cyrax.
Yes. That's the one that when they did the Dracarys scene with the funeral pyre, that was Cyrax.
That is my favorite so far. Cyrax.
Dragons only listen to one master.
I have one thing to say to you guys. Dracarys.
With full ferocity. Dracarys.
Come. No, I'm sorry, I'm missing one thing. I kept looking for the fucking eagles. Where were the fucking eagles?
Nowhere to be seen. They were above the Misty Mountains cold.
They were waiting for the third movie.
They were. And it was in Dungeons Deep.
Well, before... While we're continuing this, we had a Twitter question that I'm going to pull up.
All right. Well, let's see.
What is the one character that you all are name up until and earlier again? Thank you. What is the one character that you are 1000% certain is safe? And what is the one character that you don't think is safe? But it's not Targaryen.
I'm going to say I think Rhaenyra is safe.
She's not Targaryen. And can't be on Targaryen. And can't be on Targaryen.
It can't be Targaryen. I thought she was saying for the okay. Let me see.
Now, is this?
I thought you said like who's going to die, but die that's not a Targaryen.
It depends on how far they go with the show. I mean, everyone dies eventually. Well, that's true. So, like, Otto Hightower, I'd like to see die sooner. I believe his daughter is probably going to be a little longer down the road. Kristen Cole probably be around for a while.
I hope Lord Corlys sticks around a while.
Corlys Valerian for a bit. His son will probably take over at some point. He made a point of showing his kids, which usually isn't good in Game of Thrones. Who else was there? We only got brief glimpses of a lot of people. Like, I don't know if you heard the name, but Kristen Cole, he is the steward for Dondarrion, which is Beric Dondarrion, the Lightning Lord from Game of Thrones. It's his ancestors. You got a couple of Baratheons in there. At least one of them survives because, well, we get to modern day.
Lord Dondarrion.
Yeah. I'm going to say Hightower is going to die.
I think
Otto?
Otto Hightower is going to die. And one, if not both of them, from the Baratheons are going to survive.
I think
It's a good
Alicent's around a while too.
Oh, I guarantee she will.
Yeah.
Who else? Gawain Hightower didn't die, right?
No, he took a licking.
Okay.
He murdered his horse.
You
Which was
killed
crazy.
my horse?
That
Damon
looked
was
like a really
losing,
bad
so
accident.
he just took out the horse. It's like throwing sand in your opponent's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I know
You get
that
some dirt in
can.
your eye.
I know that can. It's cold and yeah. So, yeah, I mean, any final thoughts about this episode?
This was a pilot.
I know.
Gave us a lot.
It was a lot. It was one hell. Is it one of the best pilots ever, you think?
Certainly one of the most packed. I'm interested to see how we're going to get to the next place where I know the story is supposed to go. There's a time jump between the next real set of events that are supposed to happen.
How long? Do you have a guess how long the time jump will be?
It depends. They might just skip like a bunch of small time jumps.
Okay.
But at the next point, there's children born to
Okay.
characters in the show.
So maybe like 20 years, 25 years?
It doesn't even have to be that much. See, originally in the books, the scene where the tournament is,
Yeah.
Rhaenyra is 7 years old.
Okay.
She was older now. So, depending on how they consolidate the timeline, but it's going to have to go ahead at least enough years where, you know, kids are born and grow up a little bit. So 6, 7, 8 years, something like that. Depending on the age of the children. But they even in the original Game of Thrones, they changed a lot of ages and timelines shifted, you know, to make things just fit better without having to do the time jumps and stuff. So I can only speak to how it relates to the book, not how they're actually going to execute it on the show. So it's entirely plausible that instead of that, they just shift some stuff. Like they make it. So like when all this happened, she's supposed to be 7 at that funeral.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then the next thing that happens, she's an adult. Like the next major point of contention. So that's a bigger jump. But here she's already like a teenager, so it might only be a few years.
No, I what I'm gathering is we'll see.
Yeah. It's either going to be a time jump of, but I think they're consolidating it. So I think it'll be less than the timeline between the actual events in the books.
But maybe we get a few time jumps. Maybe in the season we get a few. But maybe between seasons we get like a major one. Could that be?
It's possible, but with the amount of stuff they crammed in that pilot, I don't think they're just going to slow down completely to where the next big event doesn't happen. Maybe the end of the season. You could end on that next big occurrence. Maybe at the end of the season we see someone die or something like that, like the end of Game of Thrones season 1.
Don't forget at the end we saw Ned Stark die in the first season. And everybody thought he was going to be a main character.
I did too, Ned Stark.
But you know what? In all honesty, we should have seen him die. You know, it was being played by Sean Bean. And he always dies in everything.
I was actually hoping it would be the one thing he didn't die in. And he died. He plays. I don't know. His greatest death is Boromir.
Oh. Yeah, none of them bother me.
Sean Bean should be the spokesman for this show. We're just covering all Sean Bean related properties and
Yeah, we are.
Sean Bean sponsored events.
Sean Bean, call us.
Yeah, Sean.
Yeah.
Give me a ring.
It is. Yeah, man. This was a great. I'm just excited for next week. I really am.
Yeah, do you have any final thoughts, Josh? Anything?
Oh, we pretty much hit on everything. I'm ready for the next meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You. And we'll be here talking about it every Monday night at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific.
Oh,
and then,
sorry.
What?
The one event that's coming up that isn't going to be too far off. That's going to be a big event. Battle of the Stepstones.
Okay.
The battle versus the Triarchy. That's going to be dope. That should be coming up soon.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, big battle scenes, nautical battles, aerial battle.
Well, let me ask you this. Is that something they might say for the finale?
If they do, then this show is going to take a very long time to get to where it's going, because then they're not skipping years. That means then everything else is going to have to be next season. And that's a lot of setup between with the amount of stuff they packed in the first episode. Maybe like a halfway through, kind of like the Red Wedding was.
Well, the Red Wedding was at the end of the season.
Was it? I thought it was like a couple episodes before the end of the season.
It was episode 8. Oh, I'm sorry, episode 9.
Yeah, it was a 9. Yeah.
Yeah.
So not like that. Maybe like the Battle of the Bastards. That was in the middle of the season, right?
Yeah. I know. That might be my favorite. That might be my favorite episode of the show. It was so well, it was so well done.
I really liked Hard Home too, and I really liked the Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the episode where Brienne gets knighted. That one had a lot of good character moments and stuff. The Loot Train episode, really good. The Jorah, Sam.
Let's be honest, they're all good. They're all good.
I love it. I'm so happy to be back in Westeros.
Yeah, let me just say my final thoughts. Watching the opening of the show last night, I was like, yeah, we're back. I didn't realize how much I missed it until we came back. Shot. Ooh.
Prepare yourself for Dark Sister.
I like that. I will not bend the knee. I will not bend the knee.
Dracarys.
All right, guys, now wrap this sucker up. So, my man, tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find me battling dragons. In this life or the next, I will die with my steel between my fingers, my hand pressed strong against my chest, for I will die fighting before I die lying.
Hang on. Josh, my friend, my partner, my compadre, where can all the fine people find you on the interwebs?
You will find me in the deepest, darkest places of said internet. I'm on my YouTube channel at the Midnight Cinema, Twitter The Outlawed Mind, Instagram, The Midnight Cinema 41. And I'm also in the Facebook group of Multiverse of Geekdom, here every Monday, every Friday, and every Sunday. I'm also somewhere, probably maiming someone in the middle of Westeros because they committed treason and crime against the king.
Fucking found out.
Yes, I found out. Murderer, we're going to find you, and we shall have our pound of flesh there, sir. And you will die on the back of a dragon, because I be the one who slay ye. Yes. Huzzah.
I can think of worse ways to go.
Yes, I'm here. And guys, you can find me at MikePhillipMan_radio every Monday right here on The Fellowship, every Wednesday on Jedi Academy, every Friday on the Weekly Geekdom, every Sunday on Geekdom Uncut. You guys can also find me over at the Northern Entertainment Group, every Tuesday on Rewind That Tape, and every Saturday morning on the Northern Countdown. Guys, please like and subscribe to this channel. And in the comments, what did you think about this pilot episode? Want to hear your thoughts? Please like, subscribe, and comment. We'll see you all next week. Until then, this is the Fellowship, braving the winter and going on an incredible journey.
Fire and blood.
Dracarys.
Rain down from the heavens.
Dracarys.